part of the body of Mercedes Moné. That tells you everything you need to know about what a talent you are looking at.
Yeah, you know, oftentimes in pro wrestling there's a little bit of debate with these title belts. Do you wear it? Do you carry it? What do you do with it? Mercedes doesn't really have a choice. She has to wear some of them, carry some of them. She's turned it into a whole outfit here, and she is looking to collect one more from Emerson James.
I remember after Mercedes Moné defeated Kanji at High Stakes back in April, Emerson James said Kanji had let the entire women's division down. If it had been her, she would have got the job done. Well, now, tonight in Crystal Palace, she has the opportunity to prove it.
Introducing first, representing Discovery Wrestling and Revolution Pro Wrestling, she is the current reigning and defending Discovery Wrestling Scottish Women's Champion, the badass, Emerson James! And introducing her opponent, representing AEW and Revolution Pro Wrestling, from Boston, Massachusetts, she is the Primetime Wrestling Women's Champion! She is the Best Star Women's Champion! She is the EWA Women's Champion! She is the CMLL World Women's Champion! She is the Owen Hart Foundation Champion! She is the AEW TBS Champion! And she is your current reigning and defending undisputed British Women's Champion, the CEO, Mercedes
I'll tell you, we've had matches in the history of Rev Pro that have gone shorter than the time it took to announce every single one of those championships that Mercedes Moné has. That is how decorated she is.
And Mercedes, she got right in Emerson Jane's face, and Emerson Jane didn't back down, she just smiled.
Jane, who sees herself as something of a gatekeeper of women's wrestling here in the UK, was a winner several years ago here in Rev Pro of the Queen of the Ring tournament, then disappeared from the company for a long while, came back earlier this year at High Stakes, the night when Mercedes Moné successfully defeated Kanji. Then 1 week later, when Kanji was trying to apologise to the fans in London, Emerson Jane came out here, as I said, and he said that Kanji had been a letdown. That she had one job and she'd let down the entire women's division. A very harsh assessment, obviously. Well, Jane now has got to put her money where her mouth is if she thinks she can do better.
And listen, Dave, I mean, people talk a lot of talk. When it comes to Emerson Jane, though, and this is just my personal opinion, I think she could be the one. I think she could be the one to defeat Mercedes Moné. I think she could do it here tonight.
Since then, obviously, since April at least, we've seen another title defense by Mercedes Moné at Summer Sizzler, and that was aggressive from Moné. Summer Sizzler was against Sapphire Reed. Jane, a very seasoned competitor, isn't going to be intimidated, isn't going to be, as she will see it, patronized by Monet.
Talk about busy schedules. Mercedes Monet, this is one of 4 matches she's set to have in 4 days. 2 of them championship matches. It could be a very victorious weekend for the CEO, or it could end maybe not the way she's exactly planning, if Emerson Jane has anything to say about it.
And Monet tomorrow here at Crystal Palace is going to be in a 6-person tag team match, teaming up with Kanji, who since their match together have become friends. Kanji, Danny Luna, the other member of that team, against 3 of the Cutthroat Collective. The elbows from Emerson Jane, a pull of the hair from Monet. Some of the fans not appreciative of the tactics here of Monet, but still a pretty loud CEO chant ringing around this massive auditorium.
Mercedes seems shocked, but then turns it around and takes down Jane, and they go back face to face.
Yeah, look at this face off. Lady, you're absolutely right about Emerson Jane not backing down here, just staring right into the soul of Mercedes Monet.
And notably, it is Jane who asks for this knuckle lock, and Monet who turns it around.
Monet is taking some shortcuts here. She's conducting herself in a way that, again, is not necessarily the way that all of the fans want to see.
Whoa! Emerson Jane, so quick, so explosive.
It's a pin from Emerson Jane. I think the element of surprise may have been partly what got Emerson Jane very, very close to a win there. Hold on, Jane.
Whoa.
With Monet on her shoulders. Rolling back through into the pin. Jane's shoulders were down once more.
Mercedes launches into a crossbody of her own.
Just in that bottom turnbuckle, but still gave it that extra bit of heft compared to doing it from the ground. Tried for another crossbody. This time, the power of Emerson Jane going to help her out into a twisting Northern Light suplex for a 2 count. That
is one advantage that Emerson Jane is going to have over Mercedes Monet. She has incredible, incredible strength.
Jane has had so many matches where she has been able to overpower opponents. She's hoping to do that here against Monet.
Taking control. A lot of snap on that suplex, right into a cover.
Lightning fast on the snap suplex. And this is certainly evolving into a very different kind of match to those title defenses that Monet had against Kanji and Sapphire Rhio.
Oh.
Knees from Emerson Jane right into the abdomen. Mercedes Monet tried to get a cover. Monet kicking out immediately.
Jane has really slowed down the pace of this match, continuing to grind it down on Mercedes, but Mercedes, she's trying to fight back here.
Sending Jane into the corner, but Jane swinging around, catches with the elbow.
Inside out on the head scissors.
Duck of the clothesline. Tilted well.
Whoa!
Right into the statement maker.
Emerson fights it. She's trying to get to the rope. She's trying to do anything that she can to keep this hold from being cinched fully on. And she did it. She made it to the ropes.
Yeah, very intelligent there from Emerson Jane. She realized in the end that her legs were closer to the ropes than her arms were. So adjusted her plan. It's a baseball slide from Monet.
Now that Mercedes has started to turn this around, we're going to see her become relentless.
And this is an example of why Mercedes Monet has been so successful, has all of those championships, because she can withstand a barrage of offense like she's taken here from Emerson Jane, and yet still looks like she's just in the opening minutes of the match, able to come back. Jane testing that hypothesis, though, by sending her face first right to the edge of the ring. And again.
Continuing to fight on the outside here. Finally, whoa! Jane tried to toss Mercedes back into the ring. Mercedes had a plan.
Yeah, Gets swung around with the kick there, did Monet. The Meteora, low down, stays on top for the cover, and it's a 2 count for the CEO.
Mercedes really feeling it now. Emerson Jane was checking her teeth.
Yeah, they got absolutely blasted in the mouth there. Did Emerson Jane rather.
Whoa.
Jane now picking up Monet.
There's that strength, and wait a second, rolling through, shoulders down.
Oh, nearly got her, but Jane doing what she can to get back on top. Here's that strength we were talking about of Emerson Jane.
Whoa. And Mercedes, she's fighting too. She turned it into a sleeper. Trying to lock on the body scissors is Mercedes Monet.
Jane's got to be careful here because won't be long at all until she loses consciousness.
Whoa,
New shot to get out of it.
No way. Pure muscle into the suplex.
And Jane, those years of experience, meaning she didn't panic there. She knew what she needed to do. She did it. Hooks the leg. Another near fall for Jane, and that maybe is the difference here in this third title defense that we've seen from Mercedes Monet in Rev Pro. In both of the previous ones, Monet was more experienced than her opponent. That is not the case against Emerson Jane.
Emerson Jane has also traveled the world. She's also collected titles wherever she goes. And right now, if she can keep the match at this pace, keep it focused, keep it at this grinding pace.
That's what she's trying to do. Jane is pulling the hair and then just going to hook the arms of Monet over the rope so she can get a drop kick to the small of the back. Jane, you see her gesturing that's the beginning of the end, maybe. Is that wishful thinking? Let's find out. Monet gets the shoulder up.
And Dave, I think you're exactly right. In terms of a psychological advantage, pretty much everyone who steps in the ring with Mercedes Monet, they got to see themselves as an underdog. She is the best of the best. Emerson Jane, I don't think she ever sees herself like that.
And I think that belief, you're exactly right, is really keeping Emerson Jane right in this.
Whoa, Casadora, and denied.
Trying to get the armbar is Jane. That butcher's hook grip from Mercedes Monet to stop her arms being separated. Holding on tight here is the undisputed British Women's Champion, but Jane, look at her just pulling with everything she can to try and separate those hands.
I don't know how Mercedes is holding on here. That is pure grit and determination.
Monet, that was clever. She got her down, got the shoulders down, and Jane had to break the hold in order to stop herself from being pinned.
And
now Monet going for the armbar. Monet going for the armbar. Now it's Jane who's holding on. The roles reversed here.
There's been so many moments in this match where the offense and defense is just mirror images of each other. Incredibly well-suited opponents, but now it looked like Mercedes. Wait, no, Jane escapes.
Now Jane's going to try to deadlift Mercedes Monet into a German suplex through sheer force of will. She couldn't get it though, and it's an arm breaker from Monet. Monet will test whether that might be enough. The answer is no. But even the action there of kicking out kind of jarred the arm of Emerson Jane. You heard her kind of screaming out in pain as she kicked out.
Again back to the arm. Uh-oh.
Going through the ropes in her arm. It's dropped over the middle rope.
Dismantling the shoulder.
Monet went for the pin. Kick out from Jane. The momentum has swung here several times, but it is very much swinging back in the favor of Monet at the moment. That's largely because of the numbers she's been able to do on that left arm.
Jane, though, giving it right back.
Trying to lift her for another German suplex. Monet goes behind, tries to do it herself. Elbows here from Jane. And DDT from Emerson Jane. Great way to adapt. Great way to come up with a plan B on the fly there. Getting the elbows. Monet behind, into a backcracker. You can see that knocked the wind out of the frame of Emerson Jane, who's just gasping for air off the back of that move. Here comes Mercedes Monet. Duck on the clothesline though from Jane.
Whoa.
Duck at one from Monet.
Oh.
They hit each other. Both women go down. It is on a knife edge here. Title for title at Crystal Palace. Now what?
Count is on. They are both down. Dave, this is what we've been saying. They seem to have an answer for everything they're throwing at each other.
Well, they're going to need an answer to this referee's count, or this is going to be over right here.
Emerson Jane promised she was going to be the biggest challenge that Mercedes has ever faced in Rev Pro. She's delivering on that promise right now, but she's got to beat her to become champion.
Using the ropes to help herself back to her feet, and it is Monet who is able to get the first strike after both women return to a vertical base. But Emerson Jane not far behind her. Both women looking a little bit unsteady on their feet. Jane in particular, I think you'd have to say. Still able to get plenty of force behind these strikes to the face of the British
flurry.
Women's Champion. Crossbody from Monet. Monet stays on top of the shoulders. Emerson Jane is going to roll through. Here comes that strength again of the badass. Fall away slam from Emerson Jane.
Mercedes retreats into the corner.
Jane diving crossbody run to the midsection in the corner.
This is just trademark Emerson Jane here. From behind.
A Meteora, the knees into the shoulders.
That's it.
From Jane. No. Left shoulder comes up. The left shoulder comes up for Monet.
Kick out. It was, again, just the shoulder up, barely able to stay alive. And you can see the wheels turning here for Emerson Jane.
Yeah,
and a sign of disrespect, too.
A sign, I think, of how depleted the energy levels are of Monet, that she could just get that shoulder up. Didn't have the energy to hit a more forceful kick out. And we've seen Jane try and do this before. That reverse pile driver into the sunset flip, though, from Monet. Jane's got to be careful. Tilden whirl. I think Jane landed right on the top of her head there.
Now it's Mercedes charging in with the double knees.
Here comes Monet. Once again. Look at those knees driven into the shoulders and face of Emerson Jane. Second turnbuckle now for the CEO. And again with the knees. This time staying on top. And another close near fall for Mercedes Monet.
Diving into the Meteor, there was no wasted time in that pinfall, and Jane is still in it.
Monet with Emerson Jane backed into the corner. Remember, someone is going to leave here with their opponent's titles. It's winner takes all. Both women putting something on the line here tonight. Knee right to the temple from Monet. And that sent Jane sinking down into the ropes, but hold on, she's been able to catch the legs here of Monet. Kicks the back of the head. Emerson Jane's going to go to the ropes, she's going to try, and she's going to hit Shadowfax. Turning point maybe for Emerson Jane.
Mercedes Monet, she's using the ropes to even stand back up. And launching back into the cutter, Emerson Jane.
Jane maybe? Maybe. Again, how close. How close. The finest of margins on numerous occasions here in this title for title match.
We're in deep waters here. This is where Emerson Jane needs to stay focused. Repositioning Monet here.
Jane is going to ascend up on the second turnbuckle now. Mercedes Monet is not moving. Moved on. Just at the right time she moved. Lured her in, did Monet. Into a code breaker.
Not done yet.
Over the top, sunset flip into the turnbuckle, the back of the head of Emerson Jane, bouncing into that middle turnbuckle. Here come the knees again from Monet. Belly to belly suplex, straight into the pin, and once more Emerson Jane just clings on. What a sight. What a spectacle here tonight at the Crystal Palace National Sports Centre. We thank you for joining us wherever you are in the world for Global Wars UK title match here.
Looking for the money maker. And Jane had it scouted.
Yeah, that was a great reversal. She's obviously practiced that, has Jane. That was an integer. It's more of a knee to the side of the head from Emerson Jane. Jane, great balance, great poise at this point in the match, rolling through.
Whoa.
Gonna get those shoulders down.
Whoa.
Did she get it? Two. There was another two. Jane thinks it's a 3 count. It's a good job we've got such an experienced official in there, because Chris Hatch knows that some of these calls that he's having to make are by milliseconds, and I think he's got all of them right.
Continuing to disrespect Monet, and uh-oh.
What a knee from Monet. Monet, arm drag.
Well, rolling through. Hold on, she's got the shoulders down.
Yeah, but just able to hook the leg, but couldn't get enough purchase on it.
Oh!
A low German suplex, and now a kick out from Monet. Both women showing that if their opponent takes their eye off the ball for a split second, it could be over. Jane's going to look for that pile driver again. Hooks one leg, hooks the other. Drops her on the back of the neck. Is it enough? And somehow Monet kicks out.
Referee's hand molecules away from hitting the canvas the third time.
It is vanishingly rare that anyone kicks out of that. I don't know if they're going to kick out again, though. Mercedes Monet is down. Oh, that shoulder. That shoulder barely getting up off the canvas. But get up it did. God, this is something special. This is something absolutely special between Mercedes Monet and Emerson Jane.
Emerson Jane, look at the look of determination on her face.
Jane just kicking at the head here. Again, not overawed at all by the star power of her opponent. In fact, she's mocking Monet. Jane is mocking Monet. Little middle finger salute. Once more looking for the pile driver. Oh, Monet. Another backcracker. And into the statement maker. The statement maker. The pile driver didn't work. It's a tap out. It's a tap out. And Mercedes Monet collects another title. Wow. Mercedes Monet is going to have to check an extra bag on her flight back to the United States. She is now, as we just heard, the Discovery Wrestling Scottish Women's Champion. That's Alex Windsor.
Now, Alex Windsor has a lot of history here in Rev Pro. She has a lot of history with Mercedes Monet, and she's going to be challenging Mercedes Monet for that TBS championship. And hey,
Kanji out. Lizzie Evo is coming. Lizzie Evo from the Cutthroat Collective.
Yeah, Cutthroat Collective was looking to cut the legs out from underneath Mercedes.
Kanji, former rival, now friend of Mercedes Monet, stopping the Cutthroat Collective, or at least two of their number. from being able to do anything here. Sapphire Reed. Reed is telling Alex Windsor and Lizzie Evo to wait. I think she's saying we'll get them tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow it's Cutthroat Collective against Mercedes Moné, Kanji, and Danny Luna.
When Sapphire Reed is the voice of reason amongst you.
Well, she's increasingly taking a leadership role here.
And they want to do this right now, Dave.
Why not? Let's go.
Look at Mercedes. And Sapphire pulling Lizzie and Windsor back away.
Well, it might disappoint the crowd, but it might be the smartest thing for the Cutthroat Collective. Sapphire Reed saying, you know what? Those guys have had to, or at least Mercedes Moné has had to fight tonight. We're fresh. Let's keep it that way. We'll get them tomorrow.
This is exactly what I was talking about, Dave. Mercedes has 4 huge matches in 4 days, and you can't do that. Even at the level she's at, you can't do that without it starting to affect you. And the Cutthroat Collective might have the key to finally defeating her.
By the way, Emerson James in action again tomorrow as well. She'll be one-on-one against Persephone, who we saw victorious earlier on tonight. What a match that's going to be on night 2. Mercedes Moné with the win here over Emerson Jane tonight at Global Wars UK, meaning that Moné leaves with another championship in her possession. So many now that Kanji's able to carry some of them for her.
Yeah, we've had to have some helpers come out to collect the titles. But wow, Emerson Jane, she came closer than virtually anyone has to being able to defeat Mercedes Moné here. Nothing to be ashamed of, but still champion. And I won't even...
At the last Division 9 show, is getting walking down the island ref at your call to now wrestle championship, the CMLL Women's World Championship, and the title that is on the line tonight. As we just found out, La Primera puts the New Japan Strong Stephanie Vaquer has made a name for herself in the challenges in Rio's career.
Listen, I'd call her Steffi 3 belts, but I fancy still retaining all my teeth, David.
You think she'll beat you up?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is it the 3 belts or the Steffi?
Probably the Steffi.
Is it the Steffi?
I think it's the Steffi that would be the part that she would take umbrage with, David. 3 belts is just factual. Well, I mean, maybe she owns more. I don't know that.
Steffi 3 belty? What if you do a rhyme like that?
I mean, that could work.
You can do it. You can get away with it.
We'll try this later.
Anyways, there's the title that's on the line. The New Japan Strong Women's Championship is on the line in this match. What a huge effect would it have? It would be a huge ripple across the world of professional wrestling if Rhio leaves that ring as the new women's champion.
But David, what kind of level of confidence do you have in yourself after already wrestling a match today to then decide, you know what, I'm wrestling, I've wrestled earlier, I'm now wrestling again, someone completely different, someone I've not stepped in the ring with. You know what, I'm feeling so confident in myself, one of my belts is going to be on the line. How do you deal with that kind of self-confidence, David?
Stephanie Vaquer comes across to me as the kind of wrestler that wants that kind of pressure and thrives under that kind of pressure. You have to be a bit of a maniac to be a top professional wrestler. I mean, just look at me.
Absolutely. Sometimes pressure makes diamonds.
And he's the kind of person that's not going to crumble under that pressure, that will put themselves willingly under that pressure, that gets the success that Stephanie Vaquer has had so far. It is a great story that you bring up, though. Rhio has not wrestled today yet.
Absolutely
This
not.
isn't Rio's second match today. Rhio has been here all day. Rhio was on the outside looking at the earlier match that Stephanie Vaquer had with Kanji.
Beautiful,
as she goes for the jackknife here. And Rhio gets her own roll for the pin. 1 count. Continues to roll Stephanie around to the other side, and she is not intimidated. Stephanie Vaquer gets the first kick and a headbutt. It's not illegal, it's okay. And Rhio gets a huge forearm. You don't want to trade shots with Rhio because you're going to suffer as Rhio.
Beautiful. Body slam turn suplex from Rhio into the John Woo into the corner.
This is the kind of offense that Rhio can bring. High impact.
Shades of Hechicero with that knee in the corner.
And a big drop kick to the back, which is a very lucha-like move.
Absolutely.
The influences of lucha libre still being felt, even with Rhio. She didn't just do that today. It is one of the big moves that she does. And she will take the invitation to fly at Fantastica Mania as Rhio goes under the middle rope with a plancha, a tope that takes the champion down.
So, David, what is the difference between a tope and a plancha?
I should have called that a tope, not a plancha, to be fair. A plancha is more of what we call a crossbody, where you go chest and stomach first as Rhio goes for the cover here. Beautiful use of her left leg over the shoulder for leverage on the shoulder blades there. Where a tope is what we call a suicide dive, where you go head and hands first, maybe sometimes elbow first, like Samoa Joe does. There.
That's a very, very good explanation, and mentioning the Samoan Joe, always a favorite. Lovely.
I am indeed a trainer at the London School of Wrestling. I have to know my stuff. Look at that, Stephanie Vaquer able to catch Rhio.
Lulled her in, caught the arm as it was coming in to hit her, transferred into that arm breaker across the ropes.
I'm having a lot of fun naming stuff today. That is what I call the Suzuki look.
Of course.
And Stephanie springboards into a plancha. That's what it is. Goes for the lateral press, doesn't get the win. And follows it up with a hook kick to the Temple of Rhio. The champion is in control in this championship match. Little Guerrero roll. What an explosion with that leg. Did you see that?
The snap.
Beautiful. Goes again for the cover. This time hooks both legs. Rhio is forced to kick out. I'm sure that Stephanie knows that that's not going to give her the win. It's just part of a longer-term game plan, but she will continue to go for the cover and make Rhio work hard for the kick out. Go ahead.
The way that Stephanie wraps that arm around her leg to make it slightly more difficult for Rhio to get out of this hold.
Look at this.
Slightly more difficult. Swapping into almost a...
it's just a dragon hold.
Sleeper,
yeah, and her hands are clasped behind her back.
Absolutely.
I know the camera can't see it here, but we can definitely do it. The hands are clasped behind the back. All tons of pressure on the chin, the throat, the neck, and the shoulder of Rhio. Rhio's able to escape, but there's no space given by Stephanie Vaquer.
Not to mention just grinding the lips into the teeth, David. It cannot be expressed how much just that alone absolutely sucks.
We were talking about confidence, and Stephanie Vaquer showcasing this confidence right here. It's the kind of situation that she was born for, that she wants to be in. We also have to say that Rhio not intimidated at all by the fact that she's now wrestling by one of the most prestigious championships in the world. And we saw this earlier today and how effective it was. Stephanie Vaquer using the figure 4 head scissors and the stomps.
Listen, you drive someone's forehead into the mat hard enough, David, they're going to feel it, let alone repeatedly doing it.
And another knee drop this time. Really high on the chest, maybe the throat. Beautiful positioning there by Vaquer as well, getting a body between Rhio and the referee so that the referee can see where the knee is hitting.
Of course, and again, it's hard to say the words masterclass when you're watching a wrestling match, because everything is subjective, but
we got Let's see that. The snap on that boot is the kind of offense that Rhio brings in.
Soon.
And she's trying her best to mount some offense. Beautiful plancha. Whoa, wait. Stephanie Vaquer reversed it. Is that a cover? Rhio starting to feel the effects of the punishment that Stephanie Vaquer has brought to her in the past few moments here. But this crowd willing Rhio on. What a story would be if today Rhio would upset the champion and win the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Stephanie Vaquer must have to be frustrated by now. She was not happy with that boot, and she's going to make Rhio pay with those face washes, Gideon.
Just grinding the bottom of the shoe against the cheek, the nose, the eye socket.
And Rhio is angry. Look at that. She's not staying in the corner. Standing up, looking eye to eye to Stephanie Vaquer, talking some trash like she's known to do. and fighting back. This was a mistake by Stephanie, letting Rhio have this much space.
Oh, big enziguri from Rhio.
Rhio willing herself on, and the audience here as she hits that headbutt and suffers the consequences from it. Neither of them go down as Rhio gets close and brings Stephanie up to a fireman's carry. Still feeling the effects of that headbutt.
No, Stephanie trying to wiggle off.
Trying to get out,
Good
does,
job.
gets the reversal. Really tight schoolboy there. Kick out by Rhio. Stephanie waiting for Rhio, beckoning her on, taking Rio's best shots. Rhio has to be tired, but still goes and tries again, brings her up for the fireman's carry. Stephanie is able to avoid it, pushes her to the ropes. There's the ghost run, gets caught. This time Stephanie hits
ghost run this
the
time
ropes,
from Rhio.
and there's the spinning kick.
Just that heel catching the face of the champion.
As the cover comes in, and Stephanie, that was such a late kick out. Rhio is in control. Stephanie Vaquer on the back foot. Rhio has to be able to maintain the posture that she's known for. Great reversal into the DDT there. And gets caught. Oh, cross legs into the roll. Rhio kicks out.
And it is that composure of a champion, able to turn around a situation in a split second. Rhio all over Stephanie up until that point.
Rhio swings wildly, misses. Stephanie seems to have her bearings a little bit more, but gets caught with that super kick. Rhio wheeling herself on and grabs the hair. The Stephanie back suplex, high angle. Rolls Rhio to the back of her head. Exactly what Stephanie Vaquer needed to get her breath back and get a little bit of separation in time to game plan, strategize, and get her breath back, as I said.
Absolutely.
A good point needs to be repeated more than once.
You want to check that you can still move all your fingers, that you can still move all your toes, that everything is okay. You can reset, you can gain your composure, you can suck in that air, and you can get ready to go again and fight again, because you are not done yet. And all of that is going through the head of both competitors as they're trying to make their way to their feet. Who's going to swing first? Stephanie with the headbutt. Rhio with a wild forearm.
Rhio will be very happy to respond to headbutts with headbutts.
Absolutely. But at the moment, just going hog wild with those forearms, just swinging for the fences. Stephanie again, big headbutt. And Rhio, one more bomb being thrown in the center of the ring, spin kick.
Here we go, Stephanie changing tactics, spinning up, but this time Rhio gets her again on the shoulder. Stephanie knows that that's a bad place to be.
Package, no.
Oh, gets caught again, this time up there in an air crate cross position. Goes and grabs it. It's Rhio that gets the package and tries to bring Stephanie up.
Smart from Stephanie, dropping all her weight, turning out, putting the boot on the jaw and just dropping to her back, causing that boot to just shudder through the jaw of Rhio.
Great
Big
follow
boot
through.
Follows it up.
The speed of Stephanie Vaquer, especially this late in the match, is impressive. She goes for the double rodillas, doesn't get it. Rhio is able to avoid it, grabs her back. Pump handle position, gets her down to the bomb. A cover, that's the new champion. No, Stephanie's able to kick out.
Only just, David. And Rhio now looking in frustration. There are so many points you have to ask yourself, what the hell is this gonna take?
Rhio still, she can feel the frustration in her, like trying almost to like point it out at the referee, but he immediately follows up and tries to make sure that she doesn't give the champion a lot of space, but that was just enough space for Stephanie to hit that big kick. Goes for the package again. Rhio lowering her center of gravity to the best of her ability. Brings her up when he gets caught.
Holds on.
There's a double leg Nelson. Stephanie firing herself up, opening up for space, almost luring Rhio in. Turns around, headbutt after headbutt.
Jesus Christ!
not afraid of using her forehead as a weapon. This time Rhio is in perfect position, exploding is Stephanie with those knees. Brings her just far enough reach out of the ropes, goes for the cover, that's two. Rhio still in this. And Stephanie immediately following through, floating over into that crucifix, into the crossface.
Beautiful positioning. See how Rio's arm just trapped between the legs of Stephanie. Rhio having no option here but to try and crawl towards the ropes, not going sideways.
Bringing
like
her
earlier.
hips around.
Absolutely, just trying to get either her feet or her hand to that rope. Desperately inching towards.
Stephanie's gonna roll back into the middle and stretching out, has to be.
Done.
A valiant effort by Rhio. But Stephanie Vaquer is a champion for a reason.
Your winner and still the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, Stephanie Vaquer!
News after news coming here at Fantastica Mania after putting her New Japan Strong Women's Championship on the line. Stephanie Vaquer doesn't leave before letting us know when she's returning. It is August 2024. It is the anniversary show in Rev Pro. One of the greatest women's wrestlers in the world will return.
Cage matches, one fall with a 30-minute time limit. The winner will be determined via pinfall, submission, or escaping the cage. Coming in first, she is La Princesa. This is Tiffany Nieves.
And coming out with that Singapore cane, or as some call it, a kendo stick, absolutely lethal with that implement. I mean, you got to come loaded for bear if you're going to have a match with Markova in steel cage.
Yeah, but Tiffany Nieves ain't light work either. Let me tell you something, Daddy. Tiffany is here. Look at her. She's all business, and she's ready. She's ready to cement her spot right here.
And look at this is something that's really interesting. We've got two NWA Territory Women's Champions going toe-to-toe. The Exodus Women's Champion in Tiffany Nieves and the NWA Texas TSW Women's Champion in Natalia Markova.
How about it?
So, I mean, this is really, they both put themselves over as the top women in the territories, the queens of the territories. And they're all coming to the Dothan territory, baby. Here it looks the kill.
It's hard to deny with Tiffany Nieves, man. It's a rough customer right here.
Oh, but here comes Markova, not even waiting for music. Not even waiting for music. Markova. I don't think Tiffany Nieves even saw Markova coming. Didn't even wait. We're going right to it. The cage door is shut, and here we go. The bell has rung, and this is the first women's cage match in Alabama history, and it's happening here on Power.
And Tiff swung for the fence right there. Man. She saw Markova coming. But you got to remember, Nat is pissed. You know, Tiffany, she thinks that Tiffany cost her shot at the Burke.
Well, I think she did. I think it's undeniable that that is a fact. As Markova, I mean, these are just firing off live rounds.
Look, I think Tiffany, she was just trying to show, look, she was like this. You guys are going to have this match without me. She came in, she attacked Kenzie. She got into it with Markova. We saw what happened when those two got into it on Power. Listen. Ooh. She's like, I may be the queen of the territories. I want the Burke. I'm coming for all of you. I don't care what any of you guys got going on. Markova, you know, Ken's, anybody. She's coming for all of it. Tiffany, listen, man, she is all over the place all the time.
Oh,
she is after it, right?
100%.
All the territory. She's training with Jazz. She goes to train with Dr. Tom. She wrestles this show, that show, this show. She's at every territory.
All of that, 100% agree, all the way. But you could say almost the same stuff for Natalia Markova, who just ate that kendo stick to the gut and to the back.
Yeah, look at this right here.
You haven't seen surgical with this thing.
You can see how dialed in Tiff is right here. There ain't no showboating. There ain't no nothing. She's here to deliver punishment and take what she believes is rightly hers.
I mean, this is so personal between these two women.
Yeah, we had to put it in a cage.
Yeah, we had to put it in a cage.
It got too out of control. I mean,
Yeah.
you remember what went down in Tampa.
Okay, attack students?
Yeah, well, apparently. I mean,
well, that's why you got to put
them
them in a cage so you don't attack anybody here in the crowd at the Dothan Civic Center.
Look, and she probably looks at it, too, like Markova stuck her nose in her business when she was going after the Burke. So it's like, okay, let's get in a cage and let's settle this.
Let's see which one of these women is really the top dog in the women's division. I guess next to Kenzie Page, double champion at this point.
Yeah, and this is double vicious from Tiffany. I mean, Tiffany is super aggressive as it is, but this is
choking the life out of Markova.
Yeah, that's another level.
Oh!
Whoa! And that would have took Nat out completely.
Yeah, I agree. And Tiffany might have damaged her hand swinging that cane into the steel. Markova went shoulder first into that steel support on the cage.
I think she caught some of her head too. You can see she's trying to check if there's any blood there. That was a vicious shot from Tiff.
I mean, folks, I highly doubt anybody watching at home has been in a steel cage. Not only is it unforgiving steel, there's sharp parts all over that thing. You can get cut open real easy.
Yeah, believe it or not, I unfortunately have been in a cage. And yes, there ain't nothing nice about it. There's no other way to put it. You can feel it looks cool and all that from the outside. And you know.
Wait, what is Nieves is taking Jared Fritz's belt off?
Yeah, why not?
He's completely removing the belt.
Yeah.
Oh,
hey, anything goes. Fritz, I hope those pants fit well.
No.
No!
Whipping across the back.
Yeah, Tiff's just going to light her up. Now, look at her. Look at her face. So I'm telling you, this is another level. You know, as I pointed out, Tiffany, always aggressive, always mad dogging it, but this is another level of aggression here from Tiffany.
Well, the same can be said for Markova as Markova grabs the belt. Nieves going downstairs to the toes.
And look, she knows that Nat's a rough customer too. You know what I mean? It's not like you can't play around. You got to take her out. You got to take advantage of it.
And now Markova put in a horrible position here in that tree of woe in the corner. And Nieves really making sure that Markova is stuck there. And I mean, you talk about completely vulnerable. There's nothing Markova could do. She's stuck in the corner. Here comes Nieves with a kick right to the chest.
Tiffany knows, and again, we all know Natalia's resume. So it's like, you've got to take her out. She's double tough. You know you can't. Whoa!
There you see, there it is, right on the face of Markova. Already some swelling and some bleeding on the face of Markova. And what is Nieves doing with the belt? Trying to tie up Markova. Take the blood and lick the blood off the face.
Tiff is getting sadistic here.
This is getting nasty. And a boot into that already injured face of Markova as Nieves could be looking to climb and escape the cage. Wow. Really just drinking in this unadulterated violence. But no, Markova, she's freed her arm, and Nieves goes face first into the canvas.
And I was just about to say, it's rare that we've seen Markova beat down like that, but that just shows that Tiffany knew she had to crank it up to another level. Oh! And unfortunately for her, might be a little payback time.
Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, man. Just getting flogged by Markova. And now,
and everything Tiff did to her, she's giving back to her.
Exactly.
Lit her up with the cane, now she's going to choke her. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Whoa!
Side Russian leg sweep.
White Russian leg sweep.
Into the cover. Kick out. That's Markova.
Right
got
there.
caught.
And Tiff came right back up. She could submit her right here.
She could. Sleeper holes put in.
Yeah, she's trying to lock. She's trying to lock her legs around.
But look, Markova's got her hand in.
Yeah, she's got her hand in, but Tiff's got one leg locked. You can see she's trying to get that whole body wrap.
Trying to get that submission victory here inside the steel cage. Victory by pinfall or submission. That's Markova fighting with everything that she's got, trying to get out of this.
Tiff still got it locked in there.
Yeah, I mean, even without the leg lock, I feel like the arms were in a better position, at least for a moment. As Markova back to her feet. Markova, one of the toughest customers you're ever going to meet.
She's as tough as they come. And she's cranked it up to another level, too, here. She's gone mad dog. But you got to do that. Again, like you said, everybody knows Markova's double tough. So you got to bring it, you got to take it to another level. You can't just go in there and think you're you know what I mean? You got to take, no, this is dangerous right
this
here.
Is super dangerous. Oh, man, this is
on here.
Precarious, to say the least. These women climbing. Tiffany Nieves Gone into almost a backpack on Markova. Oh, going down hard. After that incredible crash, we got to take a break. The first ever women's cage match in Alabama history will continue right after this. Welcome back to the action. It is the first steel cage match of the episode. Natalia Markova going against Tiffany Nieves. Markova going for that beautiful destruction. Ooh! But Nieves with a spear. Nieves with a spear. Stacking up Markova. Kick out.
Tiff knew what time it was with that move, and again, she's been, like I said, she's training, she studies, she does everything. She knew where Markova was coming with that. Got out of the way,
between
hit
these
the spear.
women as well. I mean,
well, yeah, that too, but you know, I'm just saying.
Nieves now with a full mount, I think just going for a straight up choke. Markova trying to block, got her arms up, but that's not going to prevent the arms going, or the hands going around the throat.
Yeah, I mean, pick your poison right there. You either
into the cover, shoulders down, kick out.
You either block the choke or you block your face while she's punching. I mean, Tiff, she was attacking both sides there. Choose your own adventure.
Yeah, no kidding. Miss Nieves is now in firm control. And now perhaps just looking to climb.
Why not?
Just escape.
Why not?
Might be her best opportunity right here as Markova's starting to stir back to her feet. And it might be a race.
No, Markova going for it. Yeah, they're both going for it. Tiff's trying to shake the cage.
Trying to get Markova to lose her balance.
Both of them got a tight grip.
Oh, whoa! Well, Markova's just a little bit stronger as Markova all the way to the top. But Nieves, oh, shoulder first, but that might have sent Markova almost all the way to the concrete outside.
Yeah, at that point, it'd be one price victory, huh?
Yeah, what crazy strategy there by Nieves, just shaking the cage, trying to force Markova back inside the ring.
This is getting dangerous
now
up here, Joey G.
This is ultra dangerous as Markova couldn't make it over the top.
And Tiff putting it into another gear right there to jump back up top there. I thought Markova was all but over the cage at that point.
And what a brawl. This has become, what a pump kick to the face.
Tiffany somehow hung on. Oh!
How might have hang on after that? Cannot.
That might have done it.
Face first into the steel as Markova has a huge opportunity. Look at Nieves all the way to the other side of the ring as Markova.
She's looking to get, wait, what's she doing? Wait a minute.
Markova.
Now look.
Wait a minute.
That's nuts.
That is,
something's going on.
Give every opportunity, you can win the match.
Something's going on in that brain.
You're right.
Wheels are turning.
Oh, Markova, this is such a dangerous position. Up top. No! Special drop kick off the top of the cage. Incredible moment for Markova. Can she get the win into the cover? Got it. Whoa.
The